Today we're going to install steering lock. Yet another way to keep the bike from getting stolen. As you may have seen in my previous videos, I got rid of the ignition switch. When I did that, I also got rid of the locking gas cap. It went completely keyless. Well, now I'm going to be adding a key back to this thing. This is a kit from Indian. It's an international kit, so you may have trouble ordering it. I had one dealership tell me that they could not order international parts from Polaris. And another dealership looked up the part number I gave them and just went ahead and ordered it. It was actually in stock in the Midwest. So here's the part number, 4015158-385. I'll put it in the description. But good luck ordering this. It's about 180 bucks because it comes with all these parts I don't need. So let me go over what parts it comes with. It's got a brand new gas cap. It's got another part I really don't need. Brand new ignition switch. Parts that I do need are brand new keys. Actually, since I bought this bike used, it only came with one key. And it came with the one with the metal head on it. So now I've got ones with the rubber head. I don't know, I kind of like the metal head better, but whatever. Either way, these have the offset things, so they're not going to fit on my keychain worth a damn. And then this is the part that I actually wanted, but they don't seem to sell separate because you kind of need the reason they're giving you the gas cap and the ignition switch is because they want the same key for all three of these things. So this gets installed right here, and when you turn the key, it extends this pin, which locks it into the frame from the fork. So the fork can't get turned. It's not foolproof. I mean, this thing could probably be smacked off with a hammer or something, but you know, it's something to keep the bike, you know, relatively still. It'll keep some idiot in the parking lot from rolling it into a different parking spot or something goofy like that, because the steering's locked, they're not going anywhere with the bike, nowhere that's, you know, very far. Yeah, it's just another step, and it's installed on virtually every bike in the world nowadays, and for whatever reason Indian only installs this in Europe and other countries. They will not install it in the US. So nice little cost saving for them, I guess, but I wanted it on my bike. It's going to be hugely difficult to install this. I've got my factory service manual handy. We have to remove the front tire, the brakes, the fender, the fork tubes, and then we've got to pop the handlebars, we got to pop the speedometer, which, you know, holds the handlebars down. Then we have to take the whole bearing assembly apart so that I can get to this thing. So yeah, I've got to unbolt the whole bearing assembly. There's a whole procedure in the service manual. It's going to be really interesting. I'll have to recheck everything, the bearing preload on the forks. But you know, this bike has almost 16,000 miles now, so it was a good time to check it anyways. So everything's got to come off the front of this bike. It's going to be pretty involved. I'm going to put the camera into time-lapse mode, so maybe I'll do some voiceover to narrate that, but it's going to be very involved. First up, I got to get the bike up in the air. Oh, also the kit did not come with the right bolts, or did not come with the bolts to install this, and they were back ordered several months out. So M6 by 1.0, and then you want 10 millimeter long bolts. I got 12 because that was the shortest I could find at the freaking hardware store. Hopefully I can make them work. If not, I'll just have to file them down a little bit. And you kind of want stainless. These are zinc coated. You know, it's the best I could find. So hopefully they don't rust up on me. And yeah, we'll cover that when I get to that step. Well, that didn't take very long at all. Getting it back together is going to be a whole lot more work, but anyways, I got that out. You can see the bottom bearing here. The grease is still fresh purple. Looks wonderful. Or we got a little bit of dirt in it. Anyways, so I'm really happy with how that came off and how that looks. I don't see any need to re-grease this. It's still got plenty of good looking grease. Yeah, so this is where we are going to install the lock. We know that we want the lock facing this way so that it locks when the wheel is pointed inward, just like a normal bike would. You can see we've got 2 countersunk holes. It looks like the metal down here is at least 2 millimeters thick, so I think that'll give me the 2 millimeters I need for my 12 millimeter long bolts. So let's go ahead and do this. Hopefully you'll be able to see this okay on the camera. Maybe I'll move it a little closer. All right, this is actually really easy. This is going to go really quick. We want it to come up the driver's side hole, I guess you would call it, and then the 2 threaded holes line up with these countersunk holes. So that's going to be really easy. Hopefully you can see that okay. This is one of those times when red Loctite, the super strong stuff, is definitely what you want. You do not want these to ever come out. I looked into getting like ordering some security thread ones, but being in the United States and these being metric, selection sucks. So I just got Phillips head. You won't be able to get to them while it's assembled on the bike, so if you're taking it this far apart to remove the steering lock, you probably intended to remove the steering lock. Not to mention, this does seem like pot metal or aluminum or something. I imagine there are ways to remove it. So this is basic security, just like I said before. Keep the, oh great, the red thread locker is locked the cap onto the tube. Let me get some pliers. Got it open again. So we're gonna put a little bit on each thread, just a drop. We don't want to hydrolock the holes. And you know what? I'm just going to start putting them in as I go because I don't want to set these on the ground. So the pin helps locate it quite a bit because the pin doesn't retract all the way. I'm just going to get this screw started and I'll thread lock the next one. I'll show you what's going on because you totally can't see what I'm doing here. Alright. There's a tapered hole. We got 1 bolt in there. Put the next one in. There we go. We'll screw it in just like that. Hope you can see this okay. It's the problem with not having a cameraman. I don't get any feedback from my camera that it can't see what I'm doing. So sometimes I don't get the greatest shots. This will, because these are tapered, it's going to locate this lock assembly really well. And I'm going to put it down, try and put some force into tightening these because I don't want them, I want it as snug as I can get it really. So 12 millimeter long was probably exactly the right length. 10 millimeter would have worked, but I've got full thread engagement this way. All right, let's go back to time-lapse mode. There's some torque procedures that I may pull it up. You know what? I may just, I'm not sure. Do I want to show you guys the torque procedure? Because I'm not really doing it right. Because it says there's this really funny looking bolt on the top of this. This goes under the upper triple tree. And I think that this sets some of the preload. But it says to torque it to a certain amount, and if you see, it's this weird odd bolt. I'm just gonna have to use pliers on it, so I'm just gonna have to tighten it to feel and go from there. So yeah, we'll just go back to time-lapse mode. still got the bike up in the air, so you can see standard side to side, but you put the key in and you rotate it, and it is now locked. Won't go. You'd have to brute force it and do a lot of damage, and I don't know that it would be very rideable with that lock all jammed up in the forks. So it is a basic anti-theft mechanism. It was kind of expensive because I had to buy that whole stupid kit. If they just sell it separate, that'd be nice. But I can see why you'd only want to have one set of keys for your bike if you do have the lock cylinder. Would have been nice if they just put the whole ignition switch up here. Yeah, then you wouldn't be bumping it with your knee on the other side like the factory ignition switch. And I really hated having my keychain rattling against the tank while I was filling the gas. So I'm happy to not have a key on the gas cap anymore. So there's that. It's pretty involved, but you follow the factory service manual, and if you've got a bike jack, it's surprisingly easy. It took me maybe an hour. I don't know exactly how long, but yeah, I'll check the. Yeah, it was about an hour. So you could totally do this at home if you've got mechanical aptitude, a bike jack, and you know, a couple hours, and a copy of the factory service manual. So hope this helped. I'll link the part numbers in the description, or part number in the description, and good luck with your bike.